When I was a kid, the two hardest words for me to put together was I failed. And I felt like I failed myself a lot this week throughout my runs, through my recovery, and just like how I showed up for myself because I got distracted by the things that were going on and I let my standards slip. Today was the longest run that I've had since marathon prep started, and it was 15.5 miles, and it was my worst run by far. I didn't properly hydrate the night before. This morning, before I got out there, I didn't do the things that I know I should do for me to be able to show up the way that I know that I can. And so when I was out there, I walked damn near half of it. The sun was beating down on me. Normally, I'm used to running in either Chicago weather or I'll go early since I'm out here in Arizona before it gets too hot. But because I woke up late, because I just took a while for me to get out there, it was 75 degrees the entire time I was running, which is 20 degrees hotter than what I'm used to running in. I didn't bring enough water, and it was just a shit show from the very jump. But what I learned is that, or I guess I could say reminded, was that throughout your process of becoming, you will be tested. And that's the whole point of Shift, right? Like to choose a test that forces you to coordinate with the version of yourself that you want to become. And it's easy when everything is going well to forget that the point of coordination is to realize that you don't control everything. But no matter what happens, you can use it as a benefit to get you to where you want to go. And so when I say I failed, the way I look at it now is completely different than how I did when I was a kid. Because if I would have said it when I was younger or playing football or anything along those lines, what I would have meant was that I was not good enough. That because I did not show up the way other people expected me to show up, it meant less. And this, I was less than what I wanted to be. It like hit me in my ego. But now that I'm an adult, what I see failure as is just an opportunity to fix something. It's the same way I see emotions. It's the same way I see everything. And so what I've learned from this week is that when you lack your standards, you shouldn't be surprised when your results lack from your expectations because you didn't put in the work necessary to be able to achieve what you quote unquote say you really want to. And so instead of you being mad at the outcome, process where you messed up within the process and commit to not doing it again. Because when you look at it this way, failure becomes the lesson. And the only thing that makes failure kind of a waste of time is if you don't learn that lesson. And so the lesson I learned this week is to hold your standard, is to raise your standard. And it's something that I've known, but it's always something that you can always learn again. And so next week, starting tomorrow, I will pick back up where I left off and know that I'm stronger because this week was weaker. Because I learned the lessons that I was supposed to learn this week. And it's so funny because I keep this Bible quote on my phone. It's been my screensaver for quite some time. It's so be truly glad there's wonderful joy ahead, even though you must endure many trials for a little while. It's a reminder just to keep going because I know where I'm going. Chances are you know where you're going. You're just in the journey. You're going through your own hero's journey right now of you becoming the person that you want to become. And throughout that journey, you'll face trials, you'll face tests, but you have to just remember where you're going and why you're going there and who you need to be able to get there and just commit to being that person. And then when that old frequency pops back in, you have a decision to fall back into that old version of you or continue to commit to being the main character and going through the tests that come with that. And I made this video because it was supposed to be a realization that not everything goes to plan. And so that's the lesson that I want anyone to take away from this, especially Like, if you're watching this because something in the title drew your attention, it means that either you've recently failed or you're scared to fail. And I've been in that point, not just within sports, but like, for instance, when I first got into sales or whenever I first hired a mentor, they would tell me to do something. And then I'd be so scared that if I failed, they would think less of me. And so I took the easy route and I just made excuses and I blamed other things. But you can't be afraid to fail. Failure is a given. And there's a quote that says, winners are just people who failed more times and they just kept going. And that's all it is. And so, yeah, I'm going to be here in Arizona for another week. I leave Saturday. I had to extend my trip. And so I'm going to keep you guys updated with how training's going. And I'll see you in the next one.